Hello, yes, this is Brother Mark and Associates. I am a uniter. Once again, I come to you with understanding to try to bring a little peace and understanding to the world. Now, on behalf of MLK Day, I dedicate this message. Now, yesterday, I did put a post online as it relates to MLK Day. I just want to expound on it a little bit. Also, um, hopefully, wishing and hoping everybody had a great MLK Day yesterday. Again, my name is Brother Mark. What the post was about basically, it was just a reflection of the movie a little bit. There was a young lady at one point, she was speaking with Coretta Scott King, and she was telling her that she was built for it. And it inspired me to just expound a little bit more and just, make us all understand what we're all built for, coming from the great nation of Africa, the land of all the world resources, from oil, gold, and diamonds, and all the resources that manage the world. We're the people that come from that land, and we're strong people. I mean, we must understand that we're able to ride over in the barrels of the bows of a slave ship, trip after trip, and we make it. We make it over strong, and we're able to continue to work. We're able to continue to endure slavery, endure all the the mental abuse as it relates to our women, our children, and the breakup of our families, and the enormous abuse that was held up against us. If we were able to endure that, and then as we understand, nothing is just given. So if we were able to endure that, and then at the same time um, make an effort for our freedoms, which we were free, thank goodness, to some great American people, President Lincoln and all the abolitionists back then, understood that we were built for it. We had the Jim Crow era, back of the bus, colored people only, and all those things. But I'm really not into the negatives as it relates to the past. Those are part of our history. We're still a great nation. We are Americans. If y'all didn't understand that, again, we are Americans. America is ours. If you were born in America, you 5, 6, 7, 8 generation America, you come from slaves. We have the luxury of having two. We're Africans and we're Americans. And with that being said, on MLK Day again, I would just like to celebrate his legacy and all the great men and women before us that fought this great fight. Martin Luther King fought endlessly, fight after fight. The movie Selma was a great movie, but it was just a segment of his life. I understood that that's probably all they were going to talk about, that one segment. It would have been nice if they'd expounded a little bit. They didn't show his death, and they didn't show when him and Coretta met. They didn't show the relationship of, there was a lot of stuff they didn't show, but based on the name of the movie, it was a great job as it relates to Selma. There was a point where they did, speak of these so-called rumors of infidelity of Dr. King, and they made it appear that there was an understanding between Miss King and Mr. King. But there's nothing in history, there's nothing in the records that indicates that. She never spoke of that. She never spoke in that manner on record, and nor did Dr. King. Now, there's a movie called King. It came out in 1978 with Paul Winfield and Cicely Tyson. Paul Winfield looked just like Dr. King, and it went over his whole life. And they mentioned that part of it too. There was the letters from the FBI and J. Edgar Hoover and all that stuff that they were doing. And then they, talked about it, and at the end of the conversation, Dr. King asked him, "Do you want to know the truth about these rumors?" And it was indicated by Miss King, no, that it matters not, because you're a great man. You do so many great things for this world. You made me who, just went over his resume of successes, which need not be tainted with rumors and different things. Now, whether Dr. King did or didn't, again, it was a rumor. He was a great man of great success, and if he fell weak, I would still have respect for him. But at this point, there's nothing in history that supports that, so I moved past that. And now, going back to my post, I just want to say again, we as a people, for all that we have endured, we as a people was built fall that we have endured in America. And as I reflect on MLK 2015, I must say the good fight has been fought and it's been won. It truly has been fought, people. For those of you that want to advocate this big fight to achieve our success or to achieve things in America, I just want to remind you that fight has been won. It's been fought and it's clearly been won. The fight with Dr. King and so many fought and won for us, that fight put us in the game of America. When I look at some of these movies and I think about none of the rights they had back then, but they were out there marching and they were fighting, and when they marched they had a common goal. They didn't just go out and react off of events that happened. They established the goal that they wanted to achieve and then they marched. Now with that being said, when they marched, they achieved their victory. When they marched in Selma, they got civil rights. They got the voting rights. In Selma, they boycotted the buses in Birmingham. They boycotted the buses. One of the cities, they boycotted the bus, and once they achieved their objective, they were able to ride it in front of the bus, and the Civil Rights Law Act was enacted. In Birmingham, they overturned integration there as far as being able to eat amongst everybody and the different things. So everything that they did, they marched, the March on Washington, all these different things, they were great. And they worked, they did. Now we have the right to vote, we have civil rights, we have everything. We can go where we want to go in America. We don't have those barriers anymore. Those were key barriers. And as today, we don't have those barriers. Our barriers are us. And again, we were built for it. Yeah, we've had to endure a lot, but we were built for it. And we can't make that as an excuse for not doing what we need to do. And again, as I say, that fight that was fought and won put us as a people in the game. And the game will be played. Whether you play or not, the game will be played. And we as a people, again, whether you play or not, it's going to be played. But we must understand, when we look at these outrageous atrocities that are held against us, then we must understand there's things we must do to prevent these things. We must play the game. We must condition our minds. We must condition our spirits. We must condition our souls, our bodies, and everything to understand how this game is played and get in it and play. Again, these are conditions. We've withstood all these other conditions. This understanding of money, power, knowledge, the vote, all these things, once we understand them, because for so long we didn't have any of it. For so long we didn't understand what it took to have it. But we have it today. We have it. There's a segment of our people that have it. If they can bring themselves out of themselves and understand their responsibility and duty. Our problem is we don't understand our responsibility and duty to each other. In the same way in our families, we don't understand our responsibility and duty to each other. We have this notion that I was able to do it, I was able to get it, you should be able to do it, and you should be able to get it. That's in family and in culture. So we go off and we leave. And then another thing we don't do, once we advance, we don't form alliances with each other. We form alliances with other groups, but we don't form alliances with each other. These are conditions that we need to change. These are mindsets that we need to change about these conditions that we deal with today. Now again, the fight has been fought. Let us not be hoodwinked. There are messengers out there that tell us we got to get out here and fight. We got to get out here and fight this great fight, But at the end of the day, the fight has already been won. And in order to fight, one key ingredient you have to have in fighting is anger. And as long as we maintain